Hi, I'm Rusty from the Rusty Harden Studio in Tipp City, Ohio. And today I'm going to demonstrate and walk you through creating this artful doodle of the frog with the bugs and insects are music notes. So, it's sweet. I offer regular free doodle classes through Eventbrite, eventbrite.com. So check that out in the description. And if you feel like you want to take one of those classes, then, by all means, welcome. I also have some watercolor classes. You'll find those on Eventbrite, and they're for a small fee. So I am creating this doodle drawing today. I'd like to mention that I'm using Bristol smooth paper. It's not a brand, it's a type of paper. It's very smooth, and it makes me very happy to work with a pen on it. My pen is a Uniball Signo Micro 207. It's a retractable gel pen. This pen is waterproof and fade-proof after it has had a chance to dry and cure. So I'm going to create this drawing. Just going to mention that I talk about mark making, but they're purposeful. So I use a lot of marks. For example, this row here is the number 8, and I just do these lines, and they make me happy. I say that if you can see or relate to a shape, you can draw anything. So I'm going to demonstrate the shapes in the drawing on index cards, and then I'm going to put them on my Bristol Smooth. So I'm just going to talk about where I place things, why I place things where I did, and I'm just going to relax and have some fun. So grab your pen, marker, crayon, anything at all you want to draw along with, pencil, and whatever kind of paper. Look, just get an envelope. We like doodles. Doodles are good for our brains. It relaxes us. It engages us. So take a few deep breaths and just come on. So I'm going to first create kind of this other side of the pond line. I'm going to be sketchy with my pen. I'm going to hold it in such a way that my hand kind of stays loose. That helps me to be able to make adjustments as I draw. And if something isn't going quite right, it's not a big deal just to move it over. And then I just make my line heavier. It's only pen on paper. As nobody is trying to deal with perfection here. Perfection is overrated and is often not relaxing. So we want to relax. So I'm being a little bit sketchy. I'm going to just barely touch my pen and my paper, so I kind of have this line that's going to help me know where the other side of this pond is. So I'm going to do my frog basically first. So my lily pad is, I'm just going to also be sketchy with it, and I'm going to just kind of mark it out here with, grab a pencil and then come back over with a pen if you want, whatever works for you. I don't want to have to deal with a really heavy line through my frog here, so I just want to keep it really light, and I'll come and make a few adjustments. So the frog shape. Let's just jump right into what looks like it might be the biggest struggle, and it might be. I don't know. Sometimes my drawings don't go the way I hope they do either. But in reality, the frog shape is a triangle, right? He really is. So he's kind of heavy back here. I'm going to round him off. I'm going to round off the right. I'm going to round off the point up here, and I'm going to kind of round up his little belly and give him his kind of curve back. So this is basically the shape of the body for the frog. I'm going to get another card, and I'm going to do it without all the triangle being in there. But if you can relate to the shape, I say triangle, maybe you see something else. If you can relate to the shape, it makes it so much easier to draw, because you're like, I don't know, I've never drawn a frog. Well, you've drawn a triangle, and if you can draw a triangle, you can draw the frog. So that's my philosophy about it. So, just kind of relax and, like I said, and draw your rounded off triangle. So I'm going to be sketchy, and I'm going to do it on the card again, and then I'm going to put it on my paper. Everything doesn't necessarily need to be drawn out here first, but I just kind of want to show you. So I am still thinking triangle shape, even though I'm rounding this off. He's got a little belly, and so there he goes. So here's his little head. I'm going to round off his little head. He's kind of looking up. And so I see how sketchy I am. I can come in and make these lines so much stronger in just a little bit, but it allows me to make adjustments as I need to. So there's his body, and I'm pretty happy with that. And now I've got a little leg kind of over here. This part of his leg is an oval, so I'm going to be sketchy with the oval. That's why I say, you know, go ahead and grab yourself a pencil, because you can erase that if it doesn't go the way you want it. I'm being pretty brave with a pen. Sometimes it doesn't work out though. I'm just going to tell you like it is. So anyway, so here's a little oval for this part of his leg. Here we go. And now he's going to have a little foot. And I'm going to just kind of make a curvy line here and follow, kind of make another curvy line, kind of match it. And here's a little frog foot. So that's basically my frog. Now, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to do it on my real paper. So let me set that aside. I'm going to set it right there so we can see it. So on my lily pad, I'm thinking triangle, remember. I'm thinking triangle that I'm going to round off the edges and round off for his head. So, but it's rounded. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to be sketchy with my pen. You don't have to remember anything I say because, you know, obviously I'm going to repeat it a few times. So here comes his back. And look how sketchy I am. I can just do this and keep making adjustments as I go. But then again, I say no shame in using a pencil first. Probably should. So I'm going to live life on the edge right here. When I do the classes, and I have quite a few people that attend them, sometimes it just doesn't go right. And I don't know, I think that just shows them that it can happen to anybody. But anyway, so here we go. So I've got this oval for this back leg here. And I'm just going to make kind of a wavy line for his foot. Doesn't have to really look like his foot, because it'll look like his foot in a minute. I'll just add a few details to it. And then back over here is a little part of the leg I can see. Yeah. And now there's his mouth, but I'm going to come down his little throat and give him his little round body. Oh, I'm so lucky. Well, so far, right? So here's his leg. Kind of a little bit of an oval. I think I'm going to have to adjust the lily pad, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. Maybe not. We might be okay. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, I think, oh God, I'm so fortunate. Okay, so there's an eye, and here's an eye. Can't see that whole eye on the other side. So for his eye, I'm going to make like this little shape like this for his eye. So there we go, and I'm going to fill that in. And I'm going to give I like putting doodles in places, just these little marks. I call it mark making. It's mark making with a purpose. There you go, there's his eye on the other side of his head. Now I really am going to really clean up these lines and go over where I've been sketchy. Yeah. So right down the middle of his back, got this line. Just practice on another piece of paper. Just get frog-like. So down his back, I'm going to make these little ovals. It's a doodle, so we're not trying to be realistic. We're just having fun. Here we go. I'm happy with that. So let me deal with the lily pad. And there we go. Here I ran off the paper, but it's going to be different. It's not going to go so far. Here. So I'm going to make a few heavy lines along where it's touching the water. I'm going to create a little shadow there. There we go. And I'm also going to make a little shadow on this side. I'll come back over here and make the lines a little bit more significant in just a little bit. And put his little doodles all over. I'm going to put the little lines right there underneath his chin. There we go. Okay, I'll come in and fill in the little patches here in a minute. Let's just go on with some of the other features of the drawing. So I had the water line here. So I'm going to repeat the letter 8, right? Or number. It's not a letter, it's a number. So there we go. So I'm going to repeat the number 8 all the way across. And this makes a cool little edge for the pond over there. And they just touch each other. They run over each other a little bit all the way across. And if I get too much space in between one, I just come back over it and add it. I like letters like S and L's and X's for this mark making for the doodles. They're familiar shapes for one thing, and they give me a lot of variety that I might not be able to make up on my own. So I'm familiar with them. So I'm going to stop right here because I want to be able to bring these weeds over here first. Okay, how about this? Let's do the dragonfly next. So the dragonfly, this is tapered oval. This is an oval, and if I bring this down to the point, I have this tapered oval. And that's how I'm going to create the wings. The body, I'm going to start out with this section of the body right here. So I'm going to make a square, just a square. If you can relate to the shape, you can relate to anything. And then his head's kind of round up there. I'm going to make rectangles for the body. I'm just going to get smaller and smaller and thinner, but they're all rectangles all the way down to the very end, and then just make a little swishy line. And then from there is where I'm going to add the wings. So here we go. So I'm going to start with my square, probably right about here. There we go. And I'm going to make square or rectangle, depends on how it turns out. But yeah, now I'm into the rectangles. And they're going to be long and narrow, and they're going to start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. There we go. I'm going to make a round head. I'm going to put little round beady eyes here. And got a little antenna. Now off of this part right here, I'm going to attach the wings. So I have this, the oval is tapered on the end closest to the body of the dragonfly. I call this petal shape in other contexts, but so today it's a wing shape. See, I'm sketchy, and I'll come and clean up those lines. Let's hope I can do it on the other side. Get tapered. And I don't need them to be even. I'm just not trying to be that kind of girl. I just want to get the wings on there. Here we go. And I can come over and draw on that a little heavier because I'm staying sketchy. I'm going to put a little bit of a doodle in here. I'm going to make crosshatch, which is straight lines one way and then straight lines the other. And make little wavy lines in the head. You can do whatever doodles make you happy. I'm going to go straight line in all these shapes all the way down the dragonfly. There we go. Now I'm going to clean up the wing lines. There we go. And if I go over them a couple times, that just makes them more significant. There we go. There's the wings. I'm going to come back and add the score for the music. I just want to get my main elements in here right now. So over here, I'm going to create this one because I can see the most of it. So I'm going to create this grass. I'm going to swing up to a point and back down. And you know, you hear the sketchy, right? So I have this one right here. I want this one to be coming up, kind of crossing it. I'm going to pick it up and bring it down. And I'm going to stop here because I have some of these other grasses going across here. So I have this one going this way. And then I have like a cattail. So let me have a look at the cattail. Well, okay, I'm going to finish this one. I'm going to bring this one down. And I'm not making a complete drawing. I don't mind that it just stops in the air. We all know it's part of the cattails. It's part of the weeds. So, you know, we don't, I mean, you can do what you want with yours, but this is just how I roll. So now I'm going to make an oval here. And make a little thing come off the top. I'm gonna go ahead and doodle this. So I'm gonna make a line down the center. I do it on the other way. Going to go around my line a couple times, make it stronger. So now I'm going to make the straight line for the cattail. There you go. But it's a doodle, so I'm going to come and add wavy lines over it. There we go. And I have another piece of like some kind of grass thing happening there. Let me go over that line right there. So there we are. So I have this other leaf thing, so I don't really have room in between there, so I'm just going to make the adjustment. I'm going to put it there, then I'm going to make the stem of it come that way. I'm just going to make some straight lines coming through it all the way through. You know, again, I'm just going to say it over and over. You just do what lines and marks that you like. So I'm going to use kind of a scratchy pen. I'm using my pen a little bit on the side so it doesn't make really heavy lines here. And that's the texture I'm going to put into these grasses here. There we go. All the way down. Then I'm going to do this one up here this way. I'm going to start up here at the top of this one and come back down. Hear it? Very cool, very cool, very, very cool. Well, now that I have my grasses in there, let me come back and give this a better edge. I'll work through all these in a minute. You'll see me come back into them. So I want to finish coming back across with the number 8s. Here we go. So I had it run through all the way back. Yeah, I'm going to go over that line a little bit again, and you'll see me do it again a time or two. So let's talk about the bugs that I have here. Not the music bugs, but just our regular bugs. So this flying guy, he's a petal shape. He's an oval that's tapered on one end, a little bit like the wings were. So, or I call him a loop petal shape. So he has like 2 loops, and I always give him 3 legs. I don't know why, but I always give him 3 legs. And then I have these flying guys, which are zigzag lines. One way, zigzag lines going the other. I put an oval in there and give him his little antenna. He has no legs. So I'll put him in where I feel like that I need a little extra something to fill in. Here we go. And here's where I have my zigzag winged bugs. I put one here. Oval. And then I have one over here. There we go. Okay, let me have a quick look around. I think I'm going to go ahead and take my time now and really clean up these wings, the lines on these wings, the outside lines. I'm going to, I'm not much in the way of knowing the music scores. It's not that I've never played an instrument, but I don't really remember what we called things. So I'm going to put the 5 lines in here. I don't know, 5 or 6. I know the score says 5. I'll put in whatever I have room for. Do it the other way. I mean, we're not really going to play the music anyway, right? So now I've made his wings ready to be like a score. I'm going to put a treble clef here. And I don't know, is this called a bass clef? You really should know these things before I demo them, but I'll be me. Yeah, well, I don't know, I think they call these repeat signs, and I'm going to put a sharp there, and a repeat sign there, and a repeat sign there. Okay. Yeah, I will really enjoy going over these lines in a little bit. So now my Dragonfly is done. He's ready for the music. Let's talk about this little flying guy. So I have a treble clef up here, and I'm going to swing up and make a curly Q out of it. So now here we go. I'm going to give him his little wings. I don't know. Just put a couple little extra marks there. They don't have to mean anything. I just like them. So I'm going to go over this and make these lines heavier. Pretty sure the frog is making plans to eat one of these bugs. And I'm just going over that line too. I think it's cute. So now let's do this music note. I'm going to make a straight line here, and I'm going to make kind of a triangle shape, right? A triangle shape laying on its side. As I said, if you can relate to the shape, then you can draw anything. So I just think it looks like a triangle. I'm going to put some straight lines in it, again, kind of suggesting maybe score. So I'm going to straight line here and make the music note here. Put the other one here. And then I'm going to put a little fancy up here. I don't have a lot of room like I did over there from where I put it. So I'm just going to make an adjustment. I mean, every one of them's different. So I'll do this. There we go. Well, you see what I thought it was going to be, and I see what it is. Just have to make adjustments. There we go. So how about in the water? I'm going to make some wavy lines where the water's kind of moving around a little bit. The doodles in the body of the frog. This is like a star or an asterisk. So that's what I'm going to put some of those in here. And I don't know. I put irregular shapes in here and just filled them in for his little spots. And I really am going to take a minute and clean up these lines. So there we are. There we go. And put some patches on his front leg. The details take a little bit of time. They do. They're worth it though. So I have a few irregular shapes like I have in his legs. Just a few around. I'm going to put one of those little asterisks right there. I'm going to make a curly Q. I'll put some little dots around and make him happy. I've got little rectangles. I'm just going to put some lines in it. They're just random. Well, not really entirely random, but they're just shapes. They're just shapes. So just create some shapes. Just makes it look interesting. I'm going to clean up this line here too. There. I really kind of thought that probably I should have put some music notes down here on the lily pad. And I might come back and do that later, but I didn't do it in my demo piece, so I'm not going to do it here. Okay. So now I have a little bit of music I want to draw down here. So I'm going to make this little swirl circle thing, and Here we go. Swirl circle thing and down. Make some music notes here. And make a music note here. Get little hearts with little marks around them because they're happy and they're vibrating. So I have all these little hearts down here just singing and being happy. So I'm going to go over these another time. Now I'm going to put some dots around them. Kind of makes them look like they're sparkling, doesn't it? I'm going to put a heart right here. So right here, some music notes. You have to be careful of laying your hand on your paper. The oils on your hands can make your pens kind of skip over spaces. That's kind of what's happened there. Sometimes I remember that and put another piece of paper right under my hand. So here we go. I got a couple little hearts here being happy. Maybe one here. So now I have more music notes. Maybe I have a rest. Is that what that thing's called? Okay. And I have a music note here. Okay. Well, let me have a look around. I know it was kind of quick, but I just wanted to walk you through it kind of quickly so that you could enjoy coming back and creating your own little music scene. Let me pull all this down here so you can see it. So I'll probably just sit here for a little while and clean up a few of my lines. Decide what needs to have a little extra. And I thank you for joining me. And I will be posting more artful doodles soon. Thank you.